Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Mazy studio right here in downtown beautiful city, Matawan, Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. We are checking it out all,
chopping it up.
That's it from the from the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk right here on a Feel Good Friday. So I hope everybody's feeling good. I, for one, am not. So I got to stop. Like, as much as I talk a big game, I do. I say I'm going to go out. I'm going to rage. I'm going to have a good time. Like 3rd of July was at Big Shots last night. I'm like, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to have the time of my life. And I bet way too much money on the game because I wanted to go to Sucked. Lost my bet there, so that was no bueno. But anyway, it is Sturch and Gooch, as I said before. We want to thank you guys for checking us out here on a Friday. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the network, and subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to pretty much everything we got to offer, including patreon.com. You can forward slash Chop Sports. I'm on a roll today. Yeah, so this is how to support the show, support Chop Sports. You can go on over to patreon.com. We do this show each and every day at 11 o'clock for free, so we would love some support. So we already have it, and we're getting massive support from multiple family members, friends. It's great. So if you want to support Chop Sports in a monetary way, head on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. Like I said already, please like the video. That would do wonders for us. Also, Dat Chat is one of our social media partners. It is a brand new social media platform. They're doing something with the blockchain. Do you have any idea what that means?
No,
I don't either.
I feel like it has something to do with an email. I've heard of that.
No. It's got something to do with like the NFTs and like virtual contracts, and it's just like it's the way of the world. It's the way of the future, and that's what's going to happen. But I have not gotten into it. There's so many people out there with the NFT stuff, and I'm just I have no idea what it is.
Very intimidating.
You know how many people have tried to explain NFTs to me, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. And then you're like, hey, what's an NFT? I'm like,
the best it was ever explained to me was by Rube the first time I ever even heard of him, and that was a year and a half ago. And ever since then, I've tried to give the explanation to people that don't know, and I have no idea how to explain it. So
I'm like, basically, it's like a moment frozen in time digitally. Yeah, and
it's basically like
a screenshot,
an online collectible.
Yeah, but it's just like it's taken over.
If we're thinking in terms of athletes, which is where we go with almost everything, It's like a baseball card, but on the internet.
There you go. So Kyle, thank you for that. Coming in, there's your explanation. It is a blockchain is a virtual space where you buy and sell digital currency, crypto, NFTs, that kind of stuff. Well, then there you go. I'm just not a.
That's how you used to buy like weed online when it was still illegal. You were able to buy drugs through the internet and use blockchain.
What up, JoJo? Good morning to you. And Scoop, Cougars and Cubs night. Oh, yeah. So he's going to AC. He's going to Atlantic City Beer Fest this weekend. I went once for my best friend's brother's bachelor party, and I was hungover for 5 days, and it was like trapped in my chest, and it was like have you ever been to like a beer fest?
Yeah, it's not my thing.
I'm just saying that they give you this little cup. And they're like, oh, you can go sample.
Go get
but there's
hammered.
No such thing for me as sampling. It's just like,
I just can't do beer like that throughout the day when it's actual beer. If you give me like 25 Miller Lights, I could probably pace myself properly. But when it's like, try this IPA or try this, then by the end of the third,
it's a 19-pointer.
And I'm like, third little sample, I'm like trashed. One cane head high, and I'm feeling woozy.
Oh, that's my brother's stuff. He likes that cane stuff. During the excuse me, the pandemic, I was exploring into the world of craft beers and all that stuff, and I was just like, this is great. And then like people try to warn me, they're like, hey,
careful,
you can't drink them like you drink a Miller Lite. And I'm like, yeah, sure you can. And like it was just a mess. But anyway, if you want to hang out and drink beers with us, you can do that on Sunday, June the 26th, as we present to you our first annual Chop Sports Barbecue on Sunday, June the 26th. I probably just said that. 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, Merrill Park in Island, Woodbridge, Colonia. You know where you're at. If you know where Merrill Park is, we're in like, what is it? Like section 2 or what the hell?
Grove 2.
Grove 2. There you go.
2.
So if you want to show up.
Sports sign, flag.
In fact, yesterday, I met an interesting person, and it just so happened to be the wife of the owner of Jersey Boys Pizza. So, that's what they call it, right? Pizza Boys, Jersey Boys, something to that effect over in Avenel. And I had said to them, I said, look, we need a couple trucks. We need food. You know, it's like it's one thing for us to get burgers and hot dogs and the typical barbecue stuff, but you know, I need my pizza, right? So I was like, she's
we
like,
don't
oh,
even need a truck. Just send 50 pies.
Well, they got a truck that they cook on the spot.
Oh,
and I'm like, well then,
yeah, but I'm pretty sure the only way that we could get the truck there is if they're just giving it away.
Yeah, no, I know they can't sell. Yeah. I'm well aware. Because I talked to, like I said, I talked to a bunch of them. Peeps.
I got it.
All right, I'm just trying to help out. We're by ourselves again today. Literally today. This is like the first like really alone day that we have together.
We've had one. Well, pause. But we've had a couple over the past couple weeks.
No, I'm saying Rob, no interns.
I wasn't sure if you were going to be here today because I knew that you were out getting hammered.
I wouldn't say hammered.
Fell asleep standing up in the.
I was a little
midway through the third quarter.
I was
NBA
feeling
Finals.
like Weekend at Bernie's a little bit towards the end of the game. I was just like, man, I need to go home.
Yeah, I can't do the weekday drinks.
You know what? I think I'm going to retire from weekday drinking unless it's a function that we have to be at.
Now, is this like a retirement or is this like a Tom Brady retirement? And next week when like free agency hits and all the boys are going out and they're like the Rangers are in game 6 and you're like, you know what? It's Thursday.
I don't know if it's worth it anymore
Steph's
to feel like this.
Steph's going to go to her mom's with the kids. So I think I got a night. That's what we're going to get.
Yeah, but one of the best nights that I've had when the kids and everybody go away
home.
is when I'm home, just sitting there, like doing nothing, moving, no limbs, just not moving, watching TV. That's what I got to do going forward.
What happened to the ex-con? Oh, he had a baby. His the birth of his son on Wednesday.
Yeah, so congratulations again.
Obviously, we know the show comes first. But
Danny.
in certain cases, we got to give the guy a couple days. Speaking, Danny Grasso, I actually have a question. Maybe you could chime in.
They were in full force last night. The Grasso dynasty was out last night,
dominating the scene over at Big Shots.
Yeah, they were.
But I know that we got our boys, John Paz and Brian Saldano, the newest NIL member, Chop Sports athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I think pretty sure that there's a tournament coming up this weekend, and I didn't reach out to Paz. I didn't reach out to Saldano yet, but I did
reach out to Saldano in a way of sending him PayPal, and I said good luck in the PayPal message.
But I saw their names on the list on flowwrestling.com. So I'm just curious to know, Dan, if you could provide the people, and by the people I mean myself, with how to view said match. Is there a way we could get some backdoor links so we could see our boys show out?
I would love to watch.
But I think this is like I don't know if it's what it does for their standing in terms of the national rankings, but it's basically a tournament where 20-year-olds can enter 21, 22.
Yeah, but you said Saldano's going up in age.
18, and I'm pretty sure he's in the 20 and under bracket. So we'll see what our boys can do.
Take care of business.
And good luck to them this weekend.
You know what I also saw last night live, almost. We kind of flirted with perfection yesterday with the Yankees. 7 innings, perfect game going into the 8th. And then Tyon, not only did he lose his perfect game, he lost the lead. Like I was like, all right, bro, time to go.
You sent me a text. You're like, Grasso's in the building, and I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're in the middle of a deep conversation in the group chat about the
perfect game,
what might possibly be a perfect game, and then all of a sudden I get a text from Dave on the side saying Grasso's in the building. I completely forgot you were out at the bar. I'm thinking, like, what did he text you from the game? Like, you guys dating? But
I love the entire family.
Well, thank you, Grasso. I appreciate you for keeping me updated. Let me know how it goes down.
So we've flirted with a perfect game last night. Yankees wound up winning that game, which again, great. Sweep a day-night doubleheader. And it seems to me that it's coming to fruition that Ohtani might just be a little overrated. I'm not gonna lie. The guy not only gives up, I think, what does he give up? Four runs, and then got picked off as a batter, like picked off by Nasty Nestor. And I'm like, it's not good. Like this, it's what?
I just realized I didn't fix the Rangers graphic.
I don't care.
And I'm not sure what Pullman's saying about 6'3". It's 6'3", you jackasses. Today is 6'3".
What did I say? Oh, did I title this show wrong? Yep. No, I didn't. What's wrong?
I'm looking at my graphics. You induced a panic. I got sweat dripping down my rib cage now.
Oh, versus yesterday being 7-3. No, it's the name of the band, Ken. The name of the band is the 3rd of July. Jesus Christ. Get with it. Get cultured.
It says 6'2". Where?
Yeah, am I missing something?
Was it a graphic?
No, where? I'm looking all over the place, and you're driving me nuts. I'm looking on YouTube over here, the feed over here. No,
I think we're good because I'm looking as well, and I haven't seen one. If I see it, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not. But now that I'm now paranoid about the date somewhere, it's so stupid and silly that I'm doing that. Anyway, Yankees get that win, big win for them. The Mets get shut out for the first time this season on the left coast. 10 o'clock start. That was brutal. But the story was losing Lindor in pregame, and they went and interviewed him, and he said that after his massage, which you got to tread lightly nowadays, man. You got to be careful, Francisco. It says 6-1.
I think AJ's just trolling now at this point.
Dude.
Settle down, Dave. We're good.
I'm going to lose it.
We're good.
I'm going to lose it.
That was well played, AJ. If that's troll level 10.
I don't know if that's a troll now.
I feel like it is.
All right. Anyway, the Mets get shut out. Francisco Lindor slams his finger in a door, and he's ruled out immediately. Guys, 5:30. You know what? I'm done with all you guys. I'm done with every single one of you. That was a troll job. Thank you, AJ. You're the man. So speaking of AJ and his Mets, they don't get the job done. I can't understand how it only happens to the Mets. Didn't what's this guy fall off a horse and he was out for the entire year?
Yeah, but I don't think that Lindor's going to be at risk of.
He said he couldn't even grip a baseball yesterday.
Yeah, maybe it first happened. I think he'll be all right.
It's just crazy.
It is unfortunate, obviously, because any type of non-baseball injury, keeping a guy out sucks. And then you want to know what really happened, because there's obviously, if something does happen that's bad and you're by yourself, I'm going to make some shit up. I don't want to get this void in my contract.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully for the Mets' sake and for Lindor's sake and for baseball's sake, that he's okay.
They got a 4-game stretch out there with the Dodgers. And if they want to grab at least one of them or two of them, he needs to be in the lineup. So
they could still win some games.
I understand that, but I think it would be beneficial if he gets back on the field.
Of course, especially the way he's been swinging the bat of late. Lindor's probably the hottest he's been since he's joined the Mets a couple years back.
What else we got in the news? Mr. Nike. Was it Phil Knight? Yeah, right.
Whatever. Yeah, Knight.
He's trying to buy the Blazers. So apparently the asking price or the bid is for $2 billion.
It got shut down right away, though.
Did it?
Yeah, they came
Remember,
out.
I asked you if it was a conflict of interest, being that he was Nike, but he stepped down in 2016. I read.
I'm pretty sure I've read multiple articles over the past couple months saying that Portland was definitely up for sale. I don't know if it's a conflict thing, because money's money, but I think the $2 billion number for any sports franchise at this point is a lowball offer.
Lowball?
Yeah, bro.
Well, according to this article that I read, right now Knight is worth $50 billion. So I think maybe it is a low ball offer. Pony up a couple more bill to get an NBA franchise. He went to Oregon. He graduated there, so he's trying to stay home.
Just sold for $4 billion. I don't know that the UFC is necessarily worth more or less than
the Portland
Trailblazers organization.
Might be close.
I don't know, man. That Portland's been around a while.
I know, but
they have a bigger back.
Yeah, but how much money have they made in recent years? You know what I mean?
A ton. You want to know why? Because it's all to do with the networks. The owners are, I tell you this all the time, or people this all the time. It's really not about attendance in the NBA. That does help, but it's all about the TV deals. So the owners are getting paid.
Is that collectively? That's one deal, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, $2 billion I feel like is a low number.
Well, Scoop coming in, I don't know if this is accurate or not. Blazers are worth like $2.05 billion. So he's coming in trying to get him at cost.
So if they're exactly a little bit less than cost, and when you're bidding on something, the typical bid, I guess, would be the low offer first, but they didn't say that they didn't accept a bid. They said that they're not for sale. They said we're not selling, which I think is a direct 180 from what I've been hearing the last couple months.
I got to check something as I go. Ready? Name tags? No. See, it's what the fuck? I'm still losing my mind here. They're still in the comments. I know we're good. I'm just losing my mind. All right. So anyway, that one's cold water poured all over it. That sucks for him. Couple retirements happened yesterday. Very sad day for the NFL to lose two legends, one of them being Ryan Fitzmagic, ladies and gentlemen. He retires after 17 years in the NFL. He's played for like 9 teams, feels like 32. My brother met him at the Cheesecake Factory.
I think he played for 17 teams.
I thought it was 17 years.
I know.
All right, but in any event,
teams, I think it's more than 9.
I thought I said 9. But anyway, what a career.
Did you see the tweet or the text message that he sent
out? Is that every single player he's ever played with?
I don't know, because I didn't count them.
I didn't count them either, but it looked like
imagine that there was, by proxy, have to be some guys that were left out.
Maybe
roster cuts.
I guarantee you, maybe that was like his offensive line and receivers. And
no, there was a lot of guys on there, and I don't know if there was anything to like the guys that were a little bit bigger and more pronounced that were his closer friends. Either way, a very cool way to go out and recognizing all the people that he played with. And when you look back, you're saying a sad time. I feel like a guy like Fitzpatrick, he maximized everything he was going to get out of the league. He got paid a ton of money. He was able to be the journeyman. And while you would like to, as your NFL quarterback, to go in and do it all in one city, when you see the way he did it, and he was one of the most liked guys in any locker room he's ever been in, I don't know a single person that doesn't at least think Fitzpatrick is a funny guy. You know what I mean? He might not be the best.
Remember when he showed up like dressed in Deshaun
Jackson
Jackson
goes on
stuff?
and on. He was sitting in the end zone with the Bills Mafia, and he's on the Washington Commanders roster in a playoff game. To me, that's it right there. That's what you want out of a guy that, and you know what? You say said, I say he's going to get paid more on TV than he ever did in the NFL now because he's a personality and he's a genius.
He has you will wander lick out the ass, right?
Went to Harvard.
Went to Harvard.
So smartest
wander lick out
ever.
the ass.
Wander lick out.
Don't understand why.
Head
I said
over to
that.
manscaped.com.
Getting yourself a wander lick out the ass.
And
but yeah, very smart dude.
The Frank Gore thing. I
think that Frank Gore, very
he was
upset about
boxing like a couple months
ago.
He
did knock the Christ out of somebody.
He boxed twice. He lost to Darren Williams, and then he had like a little rebound. He wasn't going to go out like that, and I think he's done boxing now.
I mean, you would think he can go out there and say, "I tried it." You know what I mean? I did it.
He scratched that itch. Good for Frank Gore. I felt like he was already retired.
Where do you think Frank Gore ranks in like all time? Like, I mean, stats don't lie. He's up there. He's at like, I think he's like 4th or 5th or something like that. Maybe even 3rd.
I'm not. If you don't recall, or if you do recall, we did a little thing that we put out on our YouTube Shorts. All 13 people that saw it have watched my.
You're turning into Palumbo, just so you know.
I don't know that. Well, I'm talking about that specific YouTube short that nobody looked at. Right. And every time I see it, I shrink smaller and smaller inside. But yeah, I don't think Frank Gore is even in the top 10 of backs that I've seen play. That's not to take away anything from Frank Gore.
That you've seen play. So, I mean, again, that's a totally different. That means for the last 35 years.
He has more rushing yards than Marshall Faulk. Let's be real. You know, like the impact that Faulk made on his team was just.
I despise Marshall Faulk.
Nonetheless, you understand. Frank Gore, really good player. I say a compiler, in the sense that he was able to. He sustained the ability to be productive in the NFL, whether it be through ball security or like your boy Zeke. He's really good at picking up the blitz. And
funny.
He's solid 3 yards a carry for the last like 10 years. And when you add that up over the significant amount of carries he's gotten, I can't put him in the top 10 or even in the top 15. I know that I might get ripped for that.
I don't think he should be ripped for that. I mean, it's like he's like Ryan just chimed in and said, you know, he's just had a long ass career. So it's like, it's hard to say like he's not one of the best to ever do it because he's been there forever.
Omar Vizquel was like not really a great
Loved
hitter.
Omar
known
Vizquel.
For his fielding. You look at his career hit totals and they're pretty high considering he wasn't known for his bat, but it's because he played 49 years.
Him and Julio Franco are still playing right now.
Not only did he play 49 years, his glove was so good that it kept him in the lineup the entire time. So I wouldn't say that Frank Gore is the equivalent of Omar Vizquel. He's a Hall of Famer in my book, but I don't know that he's a first ballot considering some of the other guys.
You don't think Frank Gore's first ballot?
I think he'll get in because of where he stands on the all-time list, but I don't think that if you look at some other guys that may or may not, like, would you say that Frank Gore was a better running back than Thurman Thomas? I can't
do that.
You know,
I can't. But that's a great comparison, by the way.
But are you putting Thurman Thomas in your top 10 all time? Not many people are.
This one is the where is it? That's crazy. No, that's actually is crazy. No, Ken Palm. There it is. The comment Ken Palm. Listen, he was a running back who lasted forever as a running back.
Yeah, no.
The life expectancy of a running back now is like 3 years.
This happens all the time. This happened to me with the Jimmy Butler thing. It happens a lot where I get caught, you know, going against the grain. What I actually like, guys that I like. Like, I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan, so I didn't like spending the last 2 weeks trying to find reasons to bash the guy that I've been talking up for the past 5 years. Same thing with Frank Gore. I'm not sitting here trying to bash him, but you asked me where he stands on the all-time list. There's some really, really good players. Case in point of Shady McCoy is not as good as Frank Gore, but he was a really good
Chris
player.
Johnson or Frank Gore?
Frank Gore.
But CJ 2K had that 1 year. Everybody thought he was going to light the world on fire.
So in terms of the peak talent level, maybe Chris Johnson, but he couldn't sustain it. Frank Gore was just consistent, and we all know, we all watch football.
Yeah. So
you know, has Frank Gore been in, fantasy relevant in a decade?
No. A scoop coming in saying Fred Taylor better than Frank Gore.
No.
I don't think so either.
Stop it.
Sorry, Scoop. You lose that one. But anyway, so speaking of the game that I watched in agony last night, so we're saying Gore's a Hall of Famer. Yes, Sam. Yes. That's where I'm at with it too. I think he's a Hall of Famer. That's just. I mean, I don't. I just said I'm pretty sure that he's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I don't think he should be. But I wouldn't be like Frank Gore first ballot. That's crazy. He's fourth all time. So at the end of the day, the yards are the yards. But what kind of impact were a lot of those? The last 5,000 of those yards, I don't know that they were really, chugging. There's a little bit of a compilage.
Chugging
along, baby. All right. Anyway, so last night, game 1 of the NBA Finals, and let me tell you something. I had high hopes early on. I had high hopes that the Warriors were going to kind of run away with this thing. They got a nice little lead in the beginning. They were hitting their shots. Everything was working. But man, oh man, that fourth quarter, and somebody decided to drop 26 right on your nose, Gooch, and that's Al Horford.
I know, dude.
You didn't even think he'd be on the postseason roster at this point, and my man hits 6 3-pointers last night. Like he was very uncharacteristic, obviously, but my goodness, what a performance by the Celtics. They went on the road, they took care of business, and now this series has a completely different look and feel to it. So like it's just like I thought to myself, if Boston was going to have a chance here, and look, I took Boston in 6. Golden State in 6. So in order for it to get 6, Boston's going to have to win a couple games. I just didn't think they were going to do it on the road. I really didn't. I thought the Warriors would kind of run them out of the gym for a couple. Then you would get that one pickoff game in Boston, and then like a couple little things here and there. But last night, they were just everything was dropping.
So this is one of those situations where I come in and I'm like I've never been more wrong about something in my entire life. I still somewhat feel that way about the series. Al Horford didn't play terrible the first 3 quarters, but he wasn't necessarily taking over the game. If you saw the way the first 3 quarters went, I mean, at least the first and the third, that's the Warriors team that I expected to see the entire game. But man, when you could sit here and say what you want about the Warriors and their performance in the fourth quarter. It wasn't good on either side of the ball, but the Celtics didn't miss a shot, barely at all.
They shot 50% throughout the game, but
in the fourth quarter,
in the fourth quarter they were
like
NBA and it wasn't just, he's on fire.
And it wasn't the guys that you would expect it to be. Jaylen Brown played really well, but Jason Tatum struggled mightily in that game. And I said I don't think Al Horford has a place on the floor at all in this series. And like I said, I couldn't have been more wrong. Shout out to Al Horford in his finals appearance. I'm pretty sure it's the most points by a Celtics player making his finals debut, maybe ever. And the fourth quarter was just out of this world, hitting 3 after 3. The game to take the lead and then the one to like really put the dagger in them because Golden State needed to stop after that timeout and they turned it over and right away Horford again. I'm like, is this a replay? I couldn't fucking believe it. That ugly Bill Cartwright looking jump shot that he took. Buckets though.
Dude, it was every time you looked, they were hitting another big shot. And I was just like, man, I'm watching this bet dwindle away. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm talking to my boy on the text. I'm texting Greg and I'm like, dude, like this sucks. Like,
I know Kyle was coming in. Like everyone was just splashing in the Splash Brothers face, mainly Steph's face. But it was tough, man. Like, that team defense was brutal. They were making all the extra passes. Golden State was 1 step behind the entire fourth quarter. Once things got out of hand, I think they were down 12 going in and they won by 12. So they got outscored by 24. We could talk about whatever we want. The Warriors can't have that breakdown late and they'll be okay. This series isn't over. I know the recency bias is going to kick in mightily right now. And like the series is over. Everyone
I don't think anybody can write that off. There's no way.
Done. They played really well. They played really well for 3 quarters, and they played like complete garbage in the fourth.
An interesting thing here is yesterday when we were talking about this series, you're like, well, in order for the Celtics to be in it, Tatum has to be God mode, and it's crazy because he scored 12. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't a big contributor.
Think that they could. I have to admit it. Like I'm not giving the Celtics enough credit when they're matching up to Golden State. Obviously, after yesterday, just seeing that there's other factors that I'm overlooking because I hate the Celtics. And as they get closer to winning, I try and find more reasons why they won't because I hate Boston. And it's like admitting it, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to pick them tomorrow either. Well, thank God we won't be picking because.
Yeah. Well, I was, my gut says that the Warriors bounce back in a big way tomorrow. So like, that's just like, I don't know what the spread is yet. And I'm sure it's coming out.
Yeah.
What's Kyle said?
bring up Kyle's comment.
That's a long one. So yeah, bring it up big. Excuse me. Let's see. I had to say something because literally I've said this for about Steph Curry for years, plays no defense and disappears in most fourth quarters. And it literally happened like that. Exactly like that.
There was
the over did hit, Johnny. That's the only bet I did win.
There was a couple people that were saying like there's nobody can stop Steph, and Steph was playing really good. And then he just didn't.
It's interesting.
Neither did anybody, though.
What does that do for his legacy? I don't know. We can't talk about him anymore because of one bad game. Here we go again.
Well, I'll tell you what it will do to his legacy if they get walked on the way they did in the fourth quarter. It won't be good. And I'm not going to sit here and say recency bias that I bash everybody else for, and I was just caping up for Steph. But it will hurt because when you lose an NBA Finals, you see what it does to LeBron's legacy, like getting there and losing. But the thing is, LeBron is being compared specifically to Michael Jordan, where Steph is being compared to Kevin Durant, where you could find glaring deficiencies in his legacy as well.
Interesting. Anyway, so that's game one. Game two will happen tomorrow night. Probably. See, I won't complain about a 9:00 start tomorrow night. It's Saturday. So yeah, go for it. You know what I mean? But yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, who's gonna win this game? And then obviously the bets start, not playing out in my favor. So therefore it all sucked. People will look at him, see he scored a lot of points and completely ignore what actually happened. That's true, because he went for 34. I did take a stupid prop bet last night. It was like plus like 250 or something like that, where any player would score 35 points or more. Any player. Curry drops 34. I wanted to fucking punch somebody right in the face. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, how do they figure that out like that? Like, nobody on the court will score 35 points. I'm like, that's impossible. Somebody's got to go off. It's game one of the NBA Finals. And then, sure as shit, Curry goes for 34, and that's it. And I'm like, well, all I needed was one more pointless bucket to cash that bet, but no go. So, all right, that's game one. So, got a question for you, Gooch. Are you worried about your money and if you'll run out in retirement? Are we ever going to be able to retire?
No.
Probably not, right?
I'm good.
Apparently, from what I gather from the older folk, and when I say older folk, like my parents and like, people that are in a completely different generation, they think that it's going to be like gone. Like no Social Security. It'll be run out, tapped out, goodbye, no money. But if you're trying to not worry about that, there is a guy for that, and that's Michael Fusco of the Fusco Insurance Agency. You can go talk to Mike. He'll work out a comprehensive retirement plan that gives you security for greater control over your money. Michael Fusco can help. As president of the Fusco Insurance Agency, Michael can work with you to create a comprehensive retirement plan. He'll explore using life insurance and annuities to help you build a more secure future so you can worry less now. And I'm saying this all on camera instead of using the trusty dusty graphic as Gooch is trying to sift through the comments. Call 718-7. He's still not listening to me. 701-578. Is everything okay?
Yeah, were you talking to me? You're doing your read, so I'm kind of like.
Well, because I was waiting for the Fusco thing to cover my face as I read into my.
I was trying to
remember. No producer
I don't have
today.
My notes, so I have to do this read.
Anyway, you can call 718-701-5787. There it is to schedule your complimentary consultation. That's free ski, folks. That's no cost to you. That's 718-701-5787. Guarantees and protections are subject to claims paying ability of the issuing company. Some insurance policies are not available in all states. So that's our boy, Michael Fusco. I actually talked to him yesterday a little bit. So he's excited about the party. He ordered a hat. You know what I mean? So like he's ready to rock too. So thank you to Fusco. And of course, special shout out to Steve Aspara of steveaspara.com, who just launched ashmirefit.com, which is her new fitness blogging PR website. You go check it out. It's a cute little page. You can go check that out at ashmirefit.com, made by Steve Aspara at steveaspara.com. He also made shopsportsmedia.com. So shout out to Steve. And of course, it is June, guys. So I know I can celebrate soon. You might be able to celebrate that you don't know of? Do you have any illegitimates running around?
No. Stop with that. But yeah, head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SHOPSPORTS to receive 20% off your entire order on anything that they have on their website. It also gives you free shipping to anywhere in the world. I am talking to you, my Canadian brethren. So obviously Father's Day is coming up this month, and they got the Father's Day package 2.0. It comes equipped with basically every single thing.
Did you just give it a 2.0?
I know it says that.
Oh, okay. That's like,
yeah, and maybe we'll go 3.0.
Check
Father's Day package 3.0. Is that better? But anyway, It comes with basically every item that we've ever talked about on here. The lawnmower 4.0 with the 400K LED light, so you can navigate through the taint jungle. You have the crop and ball deodorant, you have the exfoliator, you have the crop razor 2.0 that couples with the lawnmower 4.0 to give you the most sleek, down to your ball sack shave you'll ever get in your entire life.
He said it's so
So
serious.
head on over to manscaped.com. Use the promo code SHOPSPORTS. Dad's going to love it. Mom's going to love it even more. I promise you. There you go, baby.
What's that date? What's that date on the? There's your 6'2" right there. It's on the thumbnail.
That is my fault.
It is your fault. It's all right. We'll switch it right after the show. No big deal. But thank you guys for drawing attention to that and making us feel stupid. Yeah. So anyway, tonight, ladies and gents, this graphic will come up and we're going to be like, you know what? We're going to leave the score up because it was that good of a score. The score is still left up from the other night. Oh, you fixed it. You said you didn't fix it. Did you fix it in real time?
Yeah, on the show.
He doesn't pay attention to me at all when I talk. That means he's fixing graphics. Tonight, Tampa Bay coming back to the Garden.
I thought you knew I was fixing it because maybe that was just your real senseless dribble. Because I thought you were like looked over at me and you were like, all right, he's doing this, so I'm going to just go and kind of carry this for another 30 seconds. So I was like, all right, Dave knows what's happening.
No.
And then it was like you were talking about the Celtics and how I picked Horford. And I was like, all right, Dave, you got the Celtics for a second. I'm going to do this.
Wow. Look at you, multitasker. Anyway, game 2 tonight, ladies and gents. It is going down 8 o'clock ESPN. The terrible coverage of the NHL playoffs continue as my beloved New York Rangers try to get 2 in New York. That would be so clutch. I have a firm belief that Tampa Bay will not be playing as poorly as they did the other night. They're warmed up. There's no more break. There's no more lag. I think that it's going to be a much tighter,
I'm not sure
game.
The stat that Toast came up with, but it was a pretty telling stat that Tampa Bay is definitely not going to lay down in this one. I think they're undefeated coming off of a loss or something in the playoffs.
I think they won 17 straight, and that was Rube who came up with the stat.
Yeah.
17 straight wins after a loss in the playoffs, I think.
So
it'll be interesting to see if the Rangers can take them down.
But something's got to give because the Rangers, how many home playoff games have they won in a row?
All of them since game 1 of the first round.
So, something's got to give here.
Nothing will give. We will keep scoring goals. I was with Dr. Sean yesterday. We made this agreement, and I think it's going to be, if we win this series for whatever reason, and we get to the Cup, the East is going to win the Cup. If Tampa gets there, they three-peat. If the Rangers get there, they're going to win it. The West doesn't look as appealing as the East. So that's just our thoughts. Can't really guarantee anything, but whatever.
See, I don't know much about hockey, and I will say this, though, but there's 2 separate times in this postseason specifically where the Rangers didn't look too appealing, and they fought back. So one of these teams might dig deep and find something. They're obviously down to the Final Four for a reason, and understanding what the boys were saying the other day or all week, that there's some offensive firepower out west without the goalies. So you never know.
Yeah.
I still think Tampa Bay wins 9 more games.
Everybody calm down.
Possible?
No, I don't think it's possible. 8. But at this point, all they have to do is win 8. Yes, the Rangers are 7 wins away from.
I have no idea how.
And I will tell you this: if for whatever reason, again, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. If the Rangers go to the Cup and they win the damn thing for the first time since '94, there will be no Dave on parade day. You could be here with Rob. Rob will probably come with me. He's a new Rangers fan, or at least a resuming Rangers fan. So Scoop will be at the Canyon of Heroes as well. He's a brand new Rangers fan. The Rangers parade will be out of control. I will do a remote broadcast from New York City, right there in Manhattan. Anyway, but
so Scoop,
don't want to get ahead of
myself.
myself.
What are you doing here, buddy?
Money back if it doesn't hit. I don't know. Is there a bet happening that I missed?
Is that a promo code or is that a
money back guarantee? What if
is this on Scoop? I'll put $500 on it right now.
What is it?
You're gonna give me $500 if it loses.
Well, what's the bet?
Over saves for Vasilevsky, 26.5.
That should probably hit. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to score. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of shots. Yeah, the Rangers have been very aggressive. So 27 saves. Yeah, well, look, I hope he has 0 saves. Okay, but you would assume that the amount of volume that the Rangers have put on him in game 1 might be the same thing twice. I read an interesting article. Well, you read an interesting article and you brought it up. It was on the old ESPN, and it brought out a article kind of with predictions of the rookies and who will have the biggest impact in the NFL this season. So right away, you latch on with your new team. Let me just read off some predictions and maybe we can kind of debate on who's the best of the best. So they put 5 quarterbacks up. They predicted 5 quarterback stats and touchdowns.
Here, what we'll do is rather than go through go quarterbacks only right now, right? And then
Okay.
we'll talk about it, and then we'll get into the receiving.
Okay,
yards,
okay,
So
okay.
we don't have to like.
Yeah, fine. All right, so here it is. So the leading rookie will be Kenny Pickett for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He'll throw for 2,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. That leads me to believe that Pickett's going to play half the season if they're predicting this kind of stat.
Yeah, well,
because half of that would be a 5,000-yard season.
Obviously, he's not. I don't think that they're predicting him to play half. That looks like a little bit more than half to me, because there's no way that he projects for 4,600 yards and 24 touchdowns as a rookie. The Steelers do have, I guess, a decent receiving core. We have to see what Pickens is able to do. But right now, they just brought in
Deontay Johnson really came on. I mean, he's good.
You got to imagine that there's going to be a longer leash than 6 weeks for a guy like Trubisky, because it's a new system, and you would expect there to be a little bit of a learning curve. And I also don't think they're going to be asking Trubisky to do much throwing the ball early. It's going to be a very dumbed down offense like it always was in Chicago with him. So I don't think that any of the quarterbacks are going to eclipse their predictions. So this was probably the worst draft class out of quarterbacks in I don't want to say my lifetime, because you never know what turns out of these guys. But going into this season, I don't think we see maybe even one quarterback get a start. Maybe two, maybe one.
Well, following Pickett is Matt Corral of the Carolina Panthers. He's predicted to do 1,931 yards, 9 touchdowns. So that also leads me to believe that the Sam Darnold project will start this year and kind of just go throughout until Carolina gets completely pissed off enough where the fans are chanting for Corral to come back in or come in and make his debut. And then that'll be the end of Sam Darnold.
It's hard because this is ESPN. It's like me and you sitting down and predicting like what we think. Maybe they're using some type of analytics and
of course they are. They can't just come out of the sky.
It can.
I don't know.
It can, because I could do it. I could be like, I think he's going to start 11 games, and I could.
Yeah, well, I feel like if you're going to put an article like this on ESPN
but
Plus,
look, these guys got to go to
do
camp.
A little analytics.
They all have to go compete for jobs. They have to compete to work their way up or down the depth chart, for that matter, and all that stuff is fluid at this point. So you could look at the ESPN's projections in 2 months when camp is underway, and you kind of see who's working with the ones and the twos and get a better idea. So this is way early. It's what it is to me is that clearly no quarterback is starting out of the gate.
None.
Right?
Because I don't think Kenny Pickett would win the starting job and then get benched.
That's what they're predicting. I don't know that Kenny Pickett even is the backup out of the gate, to be fair. Matt Corral obviously has the best chance because of the unproven commodity in a Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah.
You would think Malik Willis might have a chance.
Well, I don't know about the Malik Willis one. That one doesn't make any sense. They're predicting him to throw for 191 yards and a touchdown, meaning he'll get like a cleanup job at the end of one game or something like that, or go in games out of reach or whatever. Yeah, but the interesting one is actually Desmond Ritter for the Falcons. They're predicting 1,791 yards, 10 touchdowns. So do you think, just based off of feel about what the Falcons could do with their offense, like, is Mariota on a short leash right off the rip? Like, they signed the guy to make him the starter.
I don't think anybody out of the gate is like considered to be on a short leash.
I think Sam Darnold is.
I think when you say what they brought in Mariota to do was to do exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be the starter. They're going to not really win that many games because of him. He might be able to have them win games.
Here we go.
With him.
The Arlovsky list.
Right? But I think that the projection lends to the idea that he hasn't stayed healthy at any point when he's given the opportunity in his career. So you could expect that to happen. And then you may see Ritter get some.
And then rounding out is Sam Howell for the Washington Commanders, 52 yards, 0 touchdowns. So again, and an honorable mention from Kyle coming in from the comments. He's a big fan of Brock Purdy. 49ers trade Jimmy. Trey Lance gets hurt. Brock Purdy wins a playoff game. Team Brock.
Against
the Packers.
The Packers.
Everybody knew that. So those are the rookie quarterbacks of note.
This is where it starts to get fun for me. Because the rookie quarterbacks, we all know that they suck.
What do we got? Ibby coming in here. Oh, he's the resident Falcon fan. He has to be on a short leash because of the team being bad. They got to see Ritter play, because if they are a top 3 pick again, it's a quarterback then, unless Ritter plays out. I agree with that. They got to see what they have in this kid quick if they're going to suck. If they're looking like, a 5-6 win team right now, which again, very doable, right? I see that being like, okay, we got to see what we have in this kid, because if not, I don't know how strong the quarterback class is right now for next year, but it's got to be better than this year.
2 things have to happen. He has to play bad first, right?
Oh, Mariota.
But I don't know that what Ibby's saying is really says like short leash. I think that if that's going to happen, then there's that plan in place anyway. They're anticipating being a bad team, and they might have it like, okay, if we're out of it now, it wouldn't be considered a short leash. It might just be a move to make for the future and to see what we got.
You think they have this plan in their head, like by week 5, Ritter's in?
It might not be because Mariota's not playing well. It's like the team's not playing well, and we have to see what we have out of this guy so we could get some real analysis on it.
Makes sense.
He might not even be good in camp. He might be the third quarterback. You see that all the time where, Jordan Love was drafted in the first round and he didn't dress once his rookie season. There was the COVID thing, but still, nonetheless,
right.
He wasn't the backup just because they drafted him. You got to earn it.
The running backs, to me, this is just kind of, I have no idea. Because outside of Breece Hall, who's projected on this thing to be 1,000-yard rusher in his first year, what do we like? That would have, to me, like it took 17 games for Zeke to get over 1,000 last year. You know what I mean? And he had a bad year. You're telling me that this guy's going to get 1,000 with Carter on the team?
Yeah,
that's a lot of running. That's a lot of running yards.
I'm not saying he's going to get 1,000, definitely, but I think he's clearly the lead back when it comes to the rookies, and that's not a debate.
No, it's not a debate because I'm looking at the other names. I don't even know half the guys are. I think he will
pace the Jets in carries. I think Michael Carter isn't necessarily a first and second down back. You saw that when he was used at UNC. It was Javonte Williams usually being the first, second down guy, and Michael Carter comes in. He's a nice change of pace. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. He's the prototypical third down back in the NFL right now. And you need a guy, the Jet system, they're going to rely heavily on the run. They're going to rely on the tight end. They're going to rely on these things because it's a young quarterback. So I can easily see them handing the ball off a ton. If he's able to stay healthy, I could see 1,000 yards in his future. There haven't been many.
This is the one Kyle brings up. The one that I'm thinking of right off the rib is Ken Walker III. If he actually starts in Seattle, which again, that Seattle running back room has always been a mystery.
I think that there's outside of Carson, there's some guys right now that are solid middle to late round picks out of these running backs. And as camp materializes and injuries take place, some of these guys might head up the list and be like, put it this way, Isaiah Spiller, he has great handcuff value at this point. If Austin Eckler gets injured, which is kind of usually always the case situation, then he could be the lead back on that offense with that quarterback and those receivers with that defense. He ends up playing himself into a first round talent if he gets the job, right? That has to be an injury there. But if Austin Eckler goes down, you could easily see Isaiah Spiller shoot right up draft boards. So definitely I would be targeting him. And I hate to say this, but I'm not going to say I would target him over Zeke, but like reason being is this. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
I'm
ready.
I think that there's a point in this season where Spiller is a clear better option, but week to week it'll be Zeke, and he might finish better. But the weeks that you could start Spiller, it will be because Eckler's out, and it's like you're definitely starting him. It takes the debate out. Zeke, you're always going to be like flex number 2.
If you draft Zeke in fantasy football, you're starting him every week. You just are. There's no he might be my flex. Like, no, you're drafting Zeke to be one of your starting running backs.
That's not necessarily true.
I can't say.
The reason being,
I cannot see anybody benching Zeke.
I'm going to explain it. If you draft Zeke in the 3rd round, right, and then you drafted a running back already, you have a receiver already, right, and now you're talking about you start 2 wideouts and you have 4 good ones on your team, right? But in the 7th round, you hit on a rookie running back that gets the starting job. It's week 3. Now he's like clearly a lead back wherever he's at. A clear bona fide number 2 fantasy back. That's your second back now, right? So Zeke now becomes a flex option, and he gets into that mix with
a pretty good goddamn flex option if you think about it.
But you're not starting him every week if you have if you also have, let's just say, a Juju on your bench, or whoever your third DJ Moore is your third receiver, or an Amari Cooper or something like that.
Here's some strategy from Rube. Here's what you do. You don't draft Zeke. There you go. There is the strategy. Ryan coming in. So that's why people lose fantasy. They use reputation over common sense. False. I drafted Zeke 3rd overall last year and made it to the finals and lost.
You lost.
I lost to my brother, which he earned it. All right. We've been doing this league for 17 years. He's never won one. So I kind of like, they gave it to him. You know what I mean? Like, you can have this one, kid.
And so I'll die on the hill of Zeke in the 3rd or AJ Dillon in the 7th or 6th. I'm taking that same value in the 6th.
Let's move over to a more interesting one. The receivers. Okay.
Wait. I want to go back to running backs for a second. Dameon Pierce, he's probably going to start out of the gate, and that's a low projection for him if he does.
That is a very low projection. His projection, according to this article, if he starts, is 591. again, I don't think these projections are based off of like that. These are based off the depth chart right now. So right now they're probably predicting that Dameon Pierce does not start in Houston. They still got, what's the guy over there?
Who?
I'm drawing a blank.
David
right now.
Johnson?
No.
Marlon Mack.
They do have Marlon Mack.
So
Interesting.
that's his, and Rex Burkhead.
Damn, sexy Rexy making his
two guys
rounds
that
around the league.
That's the two guys that he has to
That's right. He's been
battle
there.
with. I think Pierce is probably the most talented back, but I think he's a 4th-round pick. So that could be playing against him because it's just a pedigree, but we'll see.
All right.
I think he'll get a lot of looks this year.
The one that we can get a little bit more interested about is the receivers, because it was very receiver heavy this year in the draft. This one starts with a Drake London, who now will be playing with the Atlanta Falcons, catching balls from said Mariota or Ritter. 967 yards for Drake London. So that leads it. After that, Treylon Burks over at Tennessee, and then it's followed up by Garrett Wilson of the Jets, Chris Olave of the Saints, and then Alec Pierce of the Colts. The Colts, man, between Pierce and Pittman Jr., I like their little that youth over there. But the problem is you got Matt Ryan on the back end of his career, so it's just like, they don't even have who'd they get? Nick Foles? Yeah, right. Nick Foles to back him up. So they got to make a move as far as like next year's draft. Maybe they look into the future of their quarterbacks, because all of a sudden you have the best running back in football in Jonathan Taylor. You got a great receiver in Michael Pittman Jr. came on very strong last year, and then now you have Alec Pierce. This team has a good chance to be really good in a couple of years.
Alec Pierce guy, I think he has opportunity to be solid in the league. Way bigger than he looks. He's like 6'3". He's like Jordy, honestly. Like that's his body type. 6'3", bigger guy, and definitely fast as shit. Coming in at 5th, I think he could outperform some of these guys just because of the situation that he's in. I think he's going to get a ton of looks, and he projects to slot in as the clear number 2 because Indianapolis got rid of T.Y. Hilton. Even if he was there, he'd probably
still don't have a home. T.Y. I want him to go to Dallas.
I mean, I would kick the tires on him for the 6 weeks that he's able to play, but I'm not.
Just
I'm
a
not.
walking injury at this point.
If I'm picking a free agent wideout at this point, that's not Odell.
Will Fuller.
It's Will Fuller.
Yeah, no. Only because you said it earlier.
Yeah, it's like I would definitely take on that at this point. Stretch the field out a little bit, but Drake London, just the opportunity. He's their number 1 wideout because Ridley's out. Cordell Patterson's a running back.
I mean, you're going to get
tight end.
Pitts is going to get some.
He's clearly going to get
targets.
The ball a lot, and their secondary isn't. Their secondary is really good, actually, Atlanta, but their defense doesn't tend to stop people all that often.
No, they were in a bunch of high school.
They're also up against it a lot because their offense wasn't performing. If they're able to do things a little bit differently, maybe, or they'll be down a lot. I don't know. There's potential for Drake London, obviously.
It's a young
Treylon
team.
Burks, I think.
I just realized. So when we were going over the running backs, we're talking. There's a Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Right. So he's a running back for the Falcons. Then you're talking about bringing on a guy like Drake London. Then you got Pitts. Then next year you'll have Ridley, and then next year you'll have Ritter probably starting. It's a nice little young unit over there. That might
Ridley gets traded as soon as he's able to be.
They don't want to mess with him anymore.
I think he would have gotten traded before the gambling situation came out. I think he was a prime candidate to go this offseason.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Curious to know what Ibby has to say about that, if he agrees with me or not. But
what, that he would be traded before the
was
gambling
probably
thing?
on his way out of Atlanta, and the suspension actually hurt them.
No, is that because of the mental health thing, where he just kind of took a backseat to football and just stopped playing?
Maybe that could have been the straw that broke the back in that situation, but it was also the direction of what the Falcons were trying to do. Right. You know, and now that they drafted Drake London, I think the writing is even more on the wall.
Ibby came in just right there, said Ridley will be gone.
Would have been an
Eagle.
So there you go.
I would have preferred that over
Chris
Brown.
Olave. I'm seeing comparisons to like a young version of a Isaac Bruce type, Marvin Harrison type. If he's even half of one of those, he's going to be a productive NFL player with potential to be as good as maybe one of them. I really am big on Olave. I wish the Packers would have gotten him.
Paulman's all over Pickens. He said he's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, he's going to be suspended by week 4 for beating the shit out of somebody. but in week 9, when he comes back, he's probably going to fucking go off.
Like again. The world on fire.
I'm also big on Pickens.
You wanted Pickens so bad in that draft.
Bro, the Michigan game where he's talking shit to the corner.
He's just starching him.
He's talking shit to the sidelines, and like they're talking shit back, and he just blasts the fucking corner cover that was trying to, cover him because it was a run block. But he laid the dude out, and he pointed to the sideline, and I was like, well, that's the guy I want.
I'm
perfect fit for the Steelers, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on. No
I'm
love for
too
Jalen
hairy.
Tolbert.
I guess my father wants me to get him a lawnmower.
Oh my God.
4.0.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Running back receiving yards. I guess nobody really cares about that. Touchdowns from scrimmage. This is an interesting one. This is like kind of.
We got my boy making an appearance.
Yeah.
here.
Well, Breece Hall is officially the number 1 guy in touchdowns from scrimmage with 7. Right after that is Christian Watson of the Packers with 6. Sky Moore with 6. Traylon Burks with 6. Garrett Wilson with 6. So real bold predictions here coming out of ESPN right now. Just like, 6. He looks like another 6. How about another 6 for this guy? But Sky Moore, I'm excited to see what he can do with Mahomes, man. That might be interesting. Him, whatchamacall, Juju over there, but everybody's not even talking about Mecole Hardman. Like he's not as fast as the Cheetah was, but he's a burner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they got some aerosol, of course, and
like
Kelsey up the middle.
Hayward Bay type. He's maybe a little bit
Hayward
better than
Bay.
he was.
What a name drop
But
that was.
I want to say Mecole Hardman is that guy that everybody's like, this is going to be the year, and it just never is the year. He is who he is.
We are who they thought they were.
One-dimensional. Yeah. Christian Watson, I think, is a good pick to score at least 6 or 7 touchdowns because of the system that he's in with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, listen,
a lot of
your
guys,
your stats will drastically be good if you're playing right away with a really good quarterback. That's why I think Watson's going to have a hell of a year. That's why I think Sky Moore is going to blow up. I really do. I'm even very high on, and I know this is a cowboy twist, but Jalen Tolbert. They took him in the 3rd round. People said he was the most NFL ready receiver going into the draft. He slips to the 3rd round. The Cowboys pick him up. And now look, he has an opportunity to be very good, very early, considering the fact that Gallup might miss time and James Washington is going to be
the NFL
whatever.
is a league of opportunity in a lot of senses. Like
he's going to take advantage.
Most of these guys are running 4.4, 4.5s, and they could catch because that's why they got to the NFL. You give them the opportunity, and some of these guys actually could be stars. I don't know that Jalen Tolbert's a star. No, I'm kidding. He might be really good. I had my eye on him as well, Dave. You know, I was big on the receivers this year, so I did my homework on him. Jalen Tolbert, yes. Even what Kyle's bringing up, the Packers got Torrey from Nebraska, and he is a big dude, but I think that the guy that they're more excited about is Romeo Doubs, and the name is great.
Dubs.
Romeo Doubs,
like
baby.
Looks like we have some defense here. Leading the rookie class in tackles, Kyle Hamilton of the Ravens, Devin Lloyd of the Jaguars, Lewis is it Sine or Kine?
Cine, maybe?
Cine, whatever. Minnesota Vikings. Derek Stingley Jr. with 71. And, of course, Ahmad Sauce Gardner coming in at 5 with 68 tackles. I'm excited about Sauce. I really, Sauce Gardner, that is.
I wholeheartedly disagree with maybe this entire list outside of Devin Lloyd.
Well, Devin
Lloyd. I just
Lloyd,
think that you got
Devin Lloyd better.
You got two. You got 2 corners leading the way with tackles. There's like, wasn't there a linebacker drafted? Like any? Like what the fuck?
I don't know about that.
And Kyle Hamilton, 87 tackles. I don't know. Maybe that's pretty high for a rookie safety, and you would expect that Baltimore's front is a little more stout than that.
Baltimore had a great draft. So those are tackles. Interceptions, they gave it to Sauce Gardner with 2.1. So you can get a 10th of an interception in the NFL, by the way. So that's when you know they're using analytics, because now there's fraction points over here. Kyle Hamilton obviously coming in with 2. Derek Stingley Jr. Expect big things out of him in Houston, but again, you're in Houston, so it's kind of tough. The sacks. This guy better lead the league or the rookies in sacks. Trayvon Walker, which is obviously the Jaguars' number 1 pick this year. Apparently, he's going to get 7.4 sacks. Aiden Hutchinson with 7.1. Kayvon Thibodeau for the Giants for 7, and Jermaine Johnson the second. He's coming in there at 5.8. So. Interesting. I like this whole article, to be honest with you. Like when you predict the future of these guys, like who's going to make the biggest impact, it really all depends on situation, I think. You know what I mean? Like with these receivers, it's very easy to say like, well, he's the best receiver. You got to wonder who's throwing him the rock.
Things that go into the bowl, and when you're making this recipe on who's going to have the best season, it doesn't make them the best player. It doesn't mean that they're going to have the best career. I'm talking about who's going to come in and make an immediate impact in the NFL this season, and that's the guys that we talked about. I think the defense is. We could throw their fucking list away. And a lot of these lists is like, we didn't talk about a lot of the guys in the receivers because there's so many of them. They're only giving us 5. We're forgetting about the Jets guys, the Lions, like Sky Moore, we talked about in the touchdowns part, but we didn't talk about him in the receiving yards part. It's
true.
Vice versa. So there's a lot of rookie wideouts, and we'll get more into it.
Oh, I forgot about Vantis Scantling too.
Mark MVS.
I'm just saying that
I was going to say Ryan's talking about the receivers, and he left out Sky Moore.
Wow.
So
So
they
look,
they have some options out there, of course. And
Scoop said you didn't talk about Etienne. Is he technically still a rookie?
I've been talking about Etienne.
I'm tired of hearing any Jaguar running back at this point because
Scoop, I will be praising the Jaguars until week 3 when they're 0-3 because I'm predicting them to do well this year. So until I can't do that anymore, I'm going to talk really well about them. I think they have potential to be. Look, if this Trayvon Walker is as good as people think he is, and he shot up the draft boards, and he's the first pick.
That was a late bloomer on the draft boards as far as
then
number
you
one
couple
overall
him
pick.
with Josh Allen on the front with Jacksonville. That's the makings of something potentially great on the defensive side of the ball. And then it's all about Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Packers Jags Super Bowl.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. Buy some tickets. If the Jaguars can the Jaguars make the playoffs this year? It's like that division is so tricky to think about.
The reason why you say no is because the Colts,
I didn't say no. I asked the question.
The Colts exist, and you have to think like,
but do the Colts exist right now with Matt Ryan?
Yes,
I don't know.
They existed last year with Carson Wentz well enough to
because Jonathan Taylor ran all over the place. So if that happens again with their offensive line the way they are,
there's no reason why they shouldn't play good defense and put themselves in a position to at least be a 9, 10, 11 win team. The Colts, that is.
Thanks, Mike.
The Jaguars, I just think that in the beginning of the year, they might take some teams by surprise. And if Trevor Lawrence is as good as they drafted him to be, which was like the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, then that's like a generational talent that will make your team better. Point blank, period. Look what the Bengals are now. Now that
Matt Ryan, Ibby is a Matt Ryan apologist, big fan of Matty Ice. He's saying Matt Ryan in that offense, they'll win the division, book it. So he thinks it's going to happen. Some breaking news here on pause. He's on weight, ready to go. So this is actually happening tomorrow, 9:30 in the morning.
I was going to touch on that at the exit. So 9:30 tomorrow, and you can catch it on flowwrestling.com. And Paz is ready to go. Made weight. Maybe after this weekend, we'll get Paz in studio and have him, talk a little bit about the upcoming season and what went down this past season. A lot of ups and downs for Rutgers, but
I would assume he would like to get his story out there, telling everybody look, this is what happened. I'm back. Like Paz is an animal.
Never went anywhere, to be honest. Like fucking Big Ten, bro.
Dude,
these are no jokes. These are no jokes.
Juggernaut of a conference.
Happy to see Paz, out there wrestling in these tournaments because I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think he took a little bit of time. And now he's back out there.
Got to reassess, shut down the engines for a little while, and then rev them back up, and you're good to go. Paz, we're behind you, brother. Let's do it this year. Also, a couple cool happenings with Chop Sports. We will be getting back in business with Hater Fantasy Sports. We talked to Dave Vidoro yesterday at length. I talked to him after that. Apparently, there's like a Rolodex of guests. I'm not dropping any names or anything like that. And then I'm
not dropping any names, but he's like, but I will post about it. And there's gonna be like a graphic made with all 36 potential guests.
I'm just telling you right now. Do you know what? Do you want one name that popped up on the list? And I mentioned them before, but I won't say it again because
I don't want you to say the one guy. I want you to say the other guy. If you could think of the guy that I want you to say, you said him yesterday. I'll just say him, Ricky Henderson.
Oh, Ricky Henderson. Yeah.
If I could pick one guy to interview in life, period, it might be Ricky Henderson.
All right. So, but anyway, we have a chance now. We do the Chop Sports Daily. We talk about everything: NFL, baseball, hockey, basketball, everything. Right? Would you mind talking a little wrestling on the Chop Sports Daily if this said guest would join us? Do you want to know who it is?
Wrestling.
Yes. All right, you know what? Think of the sport of pro wrestling. Who's the first person that comes to mind?
Abdul the Butcher.
God rest his soul. I think he's dead.
Papa Shango.
He's not dead, but he's not the guest. Let me just tell you the opening lyrics of his song. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. So chance, little small smidge. I'm not dropping too many nuggets here, but brother, I think we might have a chance to have a conversation with. Yeah, well, I'm not even gonna drop his name.
What you gonna do, brother?
So anyway, that's a show, guys. I mean,
by the way, great guy, great wrestler, worst finishing move in history.
With the leg drop?
Leg drop. Like, get your fucking sweaty ass cheek off my face.
Oh, dude, that was Bailey came out and said Undertaker. That would be a great conversation. But Grasso's got the wow factor.
You could always just get that guy to talk to.
This is all possible.
You can call up the guy that Dave watches on YouTube now with these fucking. What is it that you're speaking to the other side? Pay attention to me.
Oh, see, this is.
They're speaking to the other side. You're gonna summon the Undertaker's spirit from the underworld with your fucking bars.
Stop, bro. Because this guy, this is why I'm a grown man and I watch TikTok like Rob, but I watched TikTok the other day. Chris, did you find your wallet?
I did not find my wallet, but I found the culprit, and there's nothing I could do about it because I guess I could call.
He's not registered in the.
Yeah, I could call ICE and be like, bro, this guy threw my wallet in the woods and there's ticks in there. So what can we do here?
There's a guy on TikTok, and I don't mean to like go off on a tangent here, but it's funny. There's a guy on TikTok. I don't believe. Listen, I was born, raised Catholic, right? But I'm not like a practicing Catholic, go to church every day type thing. I go to church for weddings, unfortunately funerals, like that. But like I don't go on Sundays like I should, like a normal practicing Catholic should, but I don't. So I don't really believe not believe, but like I'm not a spiritual dude. There's a guy on TikTok right now. I think his name is You Never Know, right? You never know.
No, I know. No, I'm
positive.
positive.
So he has these rods that he uses. It's pretty impressive. He has these rods, and
I bet it is.
Just shut up and listen. So these rods. So he thinks he could talk to the people in the afterlife, like spirits and stuff, right? So he has these rods. They're long rods like this, and they straighten out. And he literally asks questions. He's like, "Open the rods if I can ask you a couple questions," and the rods just open, right? And then they go back to normal. Cross the rods if you're with me today, and they cross out of nowhere. He's not moving his hand. He's not moving his hand. The hands are steady, and the things are moving. I'm even looking at his thumbs. I'm like, well, maybe his thumbs are pushing it a certain way. They're not. And some of these questions are wild.
Have you ever heard of augmented reality?
Oh, even that too. We're gonna get some of
so
that.
Dave,
what?
Maybe I'm gonna be like, yo, do you know the guy? What's it called? Fucking You Never Know. Be like, do you guys work directly with a guy on TikTok and YouTube named You Never Know? Did you make rods for him that explode? Come on, Dave. Dave actually sat down and said, bro, I got into this rabbit hole about, and I thought I was about to hear something about like gun control or something. That's a serious topic. No, he's like, no, I was watching this thing. It's like a 45-minute video about this guy that's talking to spirits. And I said, Dave, don't fucking repeat this to anybody because you're killing me now.
Jim Halpert moved the coat rack. I don't know what that
Jim Halpert's from The Office.
Oh. You're right. Dave believes in Ouija boards too. Yeah, one the other night, the sleepover. Dude, listen, eat me. Go over to TikTok, look up You Never Know. And I think never is Neva, so it's Neva.
Oh, then it's definitely real. God, this guy's batting 1,000.
Bro, so I'm telling you.
Is it fucking Otome Brown? And
no, it's a guy with like a mohawk and a long beard is.
Does anybody know who Otome Brown is?
I don't. Oh, wait. Otome Brown. Why does that sound familiar? Otome Brown. It's a character on a show.
It's a character in a movie.
Otome Brown. From Tyler Perry something or no?
No.
Close? No. Am I treading too weak here? What am I doing?
Otome Brown is from Ghost, and that's Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh,
that was summoning the
Otome.
spirit. So fucking Otome Brown's brother, You Never Know, right, is fucking summoning spirits from the underworld. So if we get
that movie,
The Undertaker's spirit,
that movie scared the piss out of me when those
the glass cut the dude in half. Whoa,
dude, 1980. Whoa, and that's a great song, by the way, Unchained Melody. Definitely a wedding favorite of mine. Patrick Swayze. We're getting off on a tangent here. Dave, the upside down is fake. No, it's not. Damn, the Rangers are playing tonight, which I'm pumped about, but like I really want to keep going on Stranger Things. I haven't finished
Does
yet.
Anybody remember the Whoopi Goldberg show?
Wasn't she on The View?
No, she is on The View.
She sucks.
Do you remember the Whoopi Goldberg show? Like the Whoopi, it was like Whoopi.
No, I
Whoopi
don't.
Plus one.
No, I do not.
Oh man,
Dave believes in a lot of
TV
fiction, including Ezekiel seeing a formidable NFL tailback. You're an asshole. Worst Cowboys fan in history you are, Kyle. But anyway, that went off on a thing. Go look him up. You never know. Like, I'm gonna tag him in this, but like, bro, I am all over it. Like, this is great. All this stuff is great. I actually messaged him. I said, can you contact my best friend who passed away in 2007? I want to know. Like, I want to know things. I want to know. Is it okay to die? Like, that's what I want to know. Are we okay after that?
You ever been knocked unconscious?
Yes.
I'm gonna stop now.
Yes, I've been knocked unconscious.
I'm gonna be
This was my last wrestling match ever.
in the spirit of like not disappointing my mother. I'm not gonna get into religion right now.
Just remember, in an alternate universe, there's probably a YouTube page called Slice Sport.
With Gris Coochie. That is gold.
Yo.
Right there. That is gold.
Oh shit! What do we got here? Super chat. What's this now? What do we got? Towards Dave's when he gets back. All right, relax already. He's like,
and Dave's gonna do the benching. He's like, I can't believe I fucking drafted him in the 3rd round and I can't even start him.
Save Sturch. Holy shit. All right. It is a feel-good Friday after all. I think I've sweat out each and every ounce of booze that I had last night. Oh, boy. What a show. Anyway, guys, have yourselves a great weekend. Let's go Rangers. Get it done. There's a chance I walk into here on Monday morning up 3-0. There's a chance.
Stop.
Will it happen? I don't know. But it is.
There's also a really good chance that you walk into here down 2-1.
It's pronounced Save. Let's go Rangers. There he is, Tim Riley, my man. Dude, I went out last night and drank almost just as many beers as we had the other night. Remember I told you the story? He just bought us beers for no reason whatsoever. Tim, you're the man. So let's go
beers, bro.
Yeah, let's go Rangers. Get it done. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video. That would really do us wonders here for today's show. So for Sturch and Gooch or what is it?
Cooch.
It would be Cooch and Dirch. Like, you know, I'm trying to, yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get out of here. Let's go Rangers. Get it done tonight, boys. Please, for the love of God, get it done.
And the lightning strikes here for the 3rd time in the 1st period.
Tim is Cowboy. No, I didn't end the broadcast yet because I needed to answer. Tim is not Cowboy. And you know the Cowboy guy I was talking about the other night. Fucking Cowboy. I gotta go. We gotta go. Coochie. Goodbye.